if you want to... I'm kidding, guys, not that introduction. I just first of all want to say that I'm extremely grateful of the position that you guys have put me in. I'm very blessed to be able to do this for a living. I've come up with some ideas that a little bit change the direction of this channel, so bear with me here. Most of the videos that we have on the channel right now are directly from Twitch streams, edited, and they are our videos. However, I want to make more dedicated YouTube videos, and for that I have come up with an idea. The idea is basically a combination of making our content more engaging for everybody, entertaining and educational. That is the idea. As I've made a channel on my Discord server and I've asked people to send me VODs of their games, and I will be reacting and educating them on their games to ultimately have a new series. Now, I'm looking for a name of this series because I am not that good. My League of Legends name is my real name. There you go. I struggle with names, so please help me find a name for the series. Leave your suggestions in the comments down below. You can join the Discord channel and send me your votes yourself. Thank you all once again. Bless you all. See you guys.
Every move you made, I was watching you.
Alright then, guys, so let's get into the strategic mind of the either League of Legends player. Let's take a look at the matchups here. We're playing Cho'Gath into Renekton, which are two amazing champions to play in low MMR simply because they are very simplistic kits. They have a lot of sustain and they can skirmish in the lane. For the jungle matchup, we're playing Nunu Cho'Gath, so kind of full AP topside, into Renekton Jax. The Jax is playing Predator. You can make of that as you want. Let's load into the game, see what happens. So we're playing a full either MMR here. We'll start off the game with Grass Cho'Gath against Conqueror Renekton. I really like that he started Doran's Ring 2 potions simply because he already has Grasp. Doran's Ring will give him some more mana sustain so he can spam a little bit more abilities. He's a lot of sustain with Grasp and his passive, so I like the setup a lot. And I actually really like to see that the Cho'Gath, it seems that, oh yeah, he lost some mana, so he's starting with the Q to scout, and I assume he wants to get an early ward down to see where the junglers are starting. Very solid fundamental. Good approach by the Cho'Gath here in the early game to get the ward down, and this is so that he can scout where both of the junglers will be starting, so he can make a decision with his first 4 waves. If he's, you know, checks out here, which he should, is the information that we have right now is that both junglers should realistically in this game be pathing to top mid. That is because Nunu is starting here, and that is because we do not see the Jax starting here. So by process of elimination, either the Jax is starting Raptors and he could still path into top, which our ward should still spot, or both junglers will be pathing into top here. So that's the information we have. Now, if the Cho'Gath was actually paying attention after getting the ward down, we don't know, but let's see how he approaches with the information that we have right now. Renekton Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath have opted for the Q start. I would probably want E simply because I can trade a little bit more at the level 1. Another thing we should do is check the starting item of the Renekton, and he seems to have a Doran's Blade. Now, here's the first thing I dislike seeing. He is playing without Smart Cast. And by the looks of it, he's also playing with Locked Camera. And this is things that we see very commonly. Ultimately, that can mean two things. He's either a little bit newer to the game, or he simply has old bad habits that he needs to relearn. I think playing without Smartcast on certain abilities can work, but for example, Cho'Gath Q, you should really play without Smartcast, as it would make your combo a lot more smoother. You don't have to do the additional click on your Q, simply making it a lot more fluid in your combos, and you can play the game a lot more chill that way, right? But he has a Smartcast, he knows his Q range optimally like that, and he's able to farm the early game. Well, 3 out of 3, amazing to see. Renekton has the priority, and Nunu did a red buff into Raptors, into Golems, so it looks like Nunu is maybe looking for an early bot lane gang, something like that. As a result, the Cho'Gath is letting himself get pushed in. Very strategic. Got all the CS thus far. Actually, no, he's missed one. Very good early game. So, we'll just get pushed in. He's looking for a little bit of trades. That's good to see. He should be a little bit careful. We don't know if Renekton selected W or E. So now, one thing to be careful of, chat, and this is very important. How many means does this Renekton need to get his level 3? A lot of timers are always the same, so Renekton would only need 2 of these melee means to get his level 3. So from Cho'Gath's perspective, we need these 3 casters and 2 melee means. So we need 5 minions to get a level 3. And this is where we have to be a little bit careful to not walk into the level timer of the Renekton. But he's found a trade window before that has happened. So good to see. And this trade obviously is very good for us for multiple reasons. We trade equal health, but the wave is pushing into us, meaning we can farm a lot of last hits. We get our passive, and this is also why Cho'Gath does so well in the lower MMRs, because people don't know how to play against his passive. Nunu got the early bot gank off, and what we should be a little bit considerate of is that the Jax is most likely pathing to the top lane here, as we did not see him take any of these camps. Alright, so Renekton looks for a trade. Interesting decision. This could mean that we're going to get Dove. You hate to see it, and Renekton is just standing in EXP range and is most likely looking to recall after doing a successful 4th wave crash. Alright, so I assume the Renekton recall... Oh, no, never mind, he is staying below half HP. Cho'Gath is gonna get the full HP from the wave here. If he can manage to get some of the last hits, should have eat that. All good. Put a second point in E. Amazing to see. So here is a very interesting scenario, right? What Cho'Gath should be doing here is popping his potion. And the reason he should pop his potion here so that he is healthy enough to get this wave in the turret and also be healthy enough to maybe prevent a certain gank that could happen here, right? Nunu is delayed in his clear because he did 3 camps into bot and has only now gotten into top side, but you know the scuttle timer is 330, and if this Jack did a good full clear, he should already be on scuttle grab. Now, that is theory. We don't know what happens in Iron Elo because it looks like we have vision on these camps. I assume Ash shot out her E right here, so we'll get some vision. And apparently Jax hasn't done any of these camps. Did the Jax show in bot side? I don't see Jax in bot side. I don't know what Jax is doing. Maybe he's creating a new jungle clear. But ultimately Jax has... Oh, I see that again. Jax has not shown himself, but also has not been cleared in the jungle. So we have that information here. And with that in mind, we should pop the potion and look to crash in this wave. That's what I'm thinking about here. Now, a very small chance that Jax was maybe looking for a dive here, but I can't tell. I think Jax probably can't tell. Oh, Jax is bot. That is a very weird scenario. So what I would want the Cho'Gath to do here is to press tab for multiple reasons. First things first is we press tab here to check the CS that the Jax has, because every jungle camp in the game gives 4 CS. So if we could see the amount of CS that the Jax has right now, we could know how many camps he's cleared, right? If he's done 12 CS, he has 3 camps cleared. 16 CS is 4 camps cleared. But we also know that he hasn't done any of these topside camps and he's still bot side, which is very strange. Second thing is we should hover our camera to see what buffs the Jax has. And in my professional opinion, Jax should only have a blue buff here, probably 12 to 16 CS. So Jax has done a very unconventional clear to get this kill on Smolder. And he's done something like this. Walk around here for 2 minutes. Then gank bot here and got the Smolder. Very strategic approach, very smart. Let's continue looking at the top lane though. So Renekton is pushing the wave again and looks for an aggressive trade. Straight into the queue, has his bone plating, gets out traded, and flashes away at the pristine time. Perfect. So the wave is pushing away from the Renekton. It's frozen in the happy spot because as we can see right here, there are 5 minions, well 4 and a little bit, against 2 casters, and this next wave is approaching, right? So realistically, Cho'Gath could freeze this, Renekton has to recall, and he has to TP back. He's in a terrible position. However, let's see what happens here. So again, Cho'Gath should use his potion, so he's as healthy as he can be. And now Renekton is doing a very strategic move, which is recutting outside the bush with 1 HP without his flash to confuse the Cho'Gath. So let's see how Cho'Gath responds to this. Lands the Q, shoot flash auto attack, but the Renekton recalling in this spot mind control the Cho'Gath to be scared. Jax was shown on the map whilst Renekton was recalling here, but again, Renekton is doing a very smart mind control here to not die, and he ends up living, I think, has his E and escapes. Very smart strategic play by the Renekton. Now, the wave is still frozen, so Cho'Gath has 2 options. He could freeze this, pop his potion and try to sustain with his passive, or what Cho'Gath could do as well is make the smartest move, which is to recall and TP back. He loses nothing, Renekton is only losing means, and he gets back to a perfect position in the wave. That is exactly what the Cho'Gath should be doing. So let's see how he responds. Okay, second oh yeah, that is exactly what you don't want to see. Potion has not been popped, he starts pushing it back. Now, maybe Cho'Gath feels very confident in his position, knowing that he's going to be level 5. He still has his potion, which he really should use, and he's setting up a slow push here to hard push this next wave that is coming out as well. Because if you look at your minimap, this is where your minion wave is at. Ultimately, that's also where enemy minion wave is at. That is right here, right? So by the time that he's pushing this, maybe he's calculating that he's also going to push the next wave to secure the reset, right? Maybe this Cho'Gath saw a plan that I didn't see. The benefit that he would get by pushing it this, instead of instantly recalling before, is if you look here, if he would recall, he only has 600 gold on his reset. Now, if he pushes these 2 waves, he will have around 800 to 900 gold on his reset, depending on how good he's last hitting. And the what are we doing, man? So these are some very interesting decisions by both parties. Renekton pushed the wave to lose his flash and make the strategic recall. Looks like he TP'd back and has bought the only good purchase that he could do against a Cho'Gath Nunu Lux full AP is to go Ninja Tabbies, which is very strategic here. It puts the Cho'Gath completely on weird position, right? That some Doran's Ring here, Doran's Ring, Nunu full AP. Tabis is the way to go here. Very strategic here. This wave is pushing away from us, and then we decide to recall. The general rule of thumb is you want to recall when the wave is pushing back into you, so that you are not really losing out resources. When is the best point to do that? Well, that would be after crashing the wave into the turret, or when the wave is slow pushing towards you. The wave was slow pushing towards us, but we made the decision here to push out the wave, make it in a frozen position for our opponent, so we will reverse the position to maybe give back a little bit to the Renekton. And so we recall, at least we get 700 gold, so we get the options to maybe a Ruby Crystal, a Cloth Armor, or maybe some Tabis ourselves, because we're playing against Jax Renekton. So Renekton should, of course, freeze this wave, which would be his optimal decision. Looks like he wants to go for Tabis. Oh, no, he goes for okay. Alright, so we should TP back because Renekton is not freezing the wave. Renekton makes but I can't even call it strategic anymore. Renekton is making the conscious decision to push this back. See, I can't get into the mind of Renekton here, why he would hard push this, but I am very certain that Renekton has a reason to do this, and so we TP back. Well, if Renekton was freezing, which he should have done, the TP back was good because we were losing out on resources. However, in this scenario, the wave is being pushed back into us, so we don't really have to TP, and that is because the wave is coming into us anyways. You could TP here to try and play the bounce aggressive because Renekton doesn't have the flash. Maybe you're thinking you're gonna get level 6 faster. Ultimately, I don't know why we TP, but thus far in the past 2 minutes, a lot of interesting decisions have gone down. Yeah, there is that. So we start by thinning out the wave, which I like. Maybe trying to hold it towards the happy spot, right? What is the happy spot? That is around here, simply because here we are never gankable. Renekton would always be gankable. We hold the wave outside of the turret. Renekton has no flash. He is forced to walk for last hits. Maybe we can look for kill pressure. All right, let's see how this will play out then. And yeah, Renekton has full fury, so he could do a combo here. Cho'Gath is afraid of it. There's the combo. And he is away. No, he face tanks it. And the wave should be held here outside of the turret range. He lets it crash for... Oh, no, he's kind of... And, okay, the wave will reset into a neutral position. Sounds good. Now, Nunu has been the one that's been playing the smartest in my opinion, doing the 3 camps, ganking bot, getting his topside camp, recalling and heading back into bot side, so that's been very strategic. He also says that you know what they say about Jax players. We see here on tap, and this is really good to see, that one of the biggest habits that I want players to have is to press tap, to scout items, that is to see how strong players are. So we see here that Jax is on 16 CS. Berserker's Greaves with Predator. Very smart decision here by the Jax. Nunu's back into bot side. I'd assume Jax finally heads into his topside camps because the 16 CS the Jax has are these 3 camps and the Scuttle. And Nunu's back into bot side, so it's good for us to get pushed in because ultimately I'd be a little afraid of a Jax gank here. And it looks like Cho'Gath is very happy being pushed in as well. Now, he has put 2 points in his Q, 2 points in his E. I don't think this is a bad decision per se. Renekton gets his level 6. And we need 1 extra minion after this melee. I don't like this trade here simply because we are a level down, but we can look to sustain through our passive. Alright, so we hit our level 6 ourselves. One very important thing to always memorize in these moments in the laning phase, right? The 6-minute mark is that there will be a plant spawning in the river, so always keep that in mind. And yeah, we're just trading. Let's see how this turns out. I think we could have traded a little bit back with our E, but we used to Q them in, so it doesn't happen. And we'll just sustain from the wave. Very happy. Renekton should walk to the river. And Nunu, okay. Yeah, Renekton should go to the river, get the plant, get his fury. The last thing is another thing that we can touch on. We just lost... Yeah, we just lost 3 out of 4 here. And this is a thing that I see very commonly in lower MMR. And I always compare this to, you know, watching Karate Kid. You know where they do like the wax on, wax off scenes. This is his foundation, right? Last hitting is your foundation as a solo laner, a top laner. If you learn to last it properly, you will always have an advantage over your opponent. Genuinely, one of the first things that I recommend for any solo laner to learn is just to last hit appropriately. Learn to use your abilities, learn how turret aggro works. So for example, turrets will always aggro if all minions are in range. Cannons first, then melees, then casters, right? And you want to learn your damage on the champions and learn to utilize your abilities to always make sure you can set up the CS well. Ultimately here, we've already seen every cannon being lost. And yeah, that's been interesting. So here, at this point in the game, I don't think we can look for kill windows, so Cho'Gath should just utilize his ultimate to get a minion, and he can start stacking up his ultimate stacks and look to scale. He's looking for some trades, and he actually got a very favorable trade. Nunu is still bot side, so we are still weak-sided, and we're letting all these minions go to waste. Unfortunately, so this is just what I mean, right? There are 3 melee minions here, and 3 melee minions are 60 gold. That is equivalent to a fifth of a kill just there, but we also lost 3 casters earlier, so that's already a third of a kill. And it seems like Cho'Gath is absolutely unbotted, but he landed the Q on the ranked. And now here, in these type of scenarios, I would always prioritize the last hits, simply because it gives you guaranteed gold, it gives you sustain, and last hits is so important, guys. Always focus on last hitting ranked and looks for a desperate trade here. We definitely could look for a kill window here. Okay, nope. And we're sustaining with the wave. Jack shows bot, so now Cho'Gath can finally look to play aggressive and look for a more aggressive trade here. The wave is pushing away from him. He gets the ward down whilst we see Jax ganking bot. Very smart here. Lands the Q, lands the W, flash ult, has no mana, so you cannot look for the kill. What Cho'Gath should have done is play for level 7 first. Oh, he gets to level 7, but still no mana for the ultimate. And the ranked is in trouble. Okay, so now we have opportunities of flash ult. What I would do here is slow push this wave, hard push next, which seems to be what the Cho'Gath is doing. And he gets his first cannon main. Absolutely amazing. Slow pushing this wave. That is to deny the Rankton. The wave is actually pushing back to the Cho'Gath. Okay, predicts the most random Q I have ever seen in my life. That is an amazing prediction. With the smart cast, or without the smart cast, and gets the ult. Rankton does not decide to ult. Amazing, we get a solo kill. We do end up finding a kill window with our ultimate. Here, the best play would be to slow push this wave. And the reason I know this is because, again, I'm looking at the minimap first. I would want the Cho'Gath to slow push this wave, allow this next wave to walk you through the lane, get both waves to crash, you crash it into the turret, the wave will bounce back into you, lose very little resources, and you get the best recall possible with tempo. So let's see what the Cho'Gath does here. Starts pushing, and this is alright, because the next wave is still moving, and I hope he hard pushes next wave as well, and... No, he does not, and that is because the Katarina roam. So this is very smart position by the Cho'Gath. Stands in the alcove, and he gets the reset in. The wave is unfortunately in a very bad position. There's not much he could have done to circumvent this simply because the Katarina was roaming. Alright, so Raikten has a freeze. He's bought the... He's finished at Tabis. Maybe he is scaling for the latest stages of the game to get Tabis against the Smolder and the Ash. Ultimately, we don't know. Renekton probably doesn't know either. But what we do know is that we are in a good position. Our top side is doing very well. The Nunu is very fat. And Renekton has a permanent freeze here, which we can clearly see by the size of the minions. But Renekton has decided to be generous and push the wave back into us. Maybe because he wants to look to play for grubs. Maybe Renekton has an idea here. We don't know. And let's see how this plays out. So here again, Renekton has ult. He has his flashback very soon. So what I would do in the Cho'Gath shoes here is off cooldown, instantly start ulting a minion here. Probably the cannon here, simply so that we can start getting our ultimate stacks. Unless we get a trade fight here. We get the cannon, we get all the minions. And here, I don't think anything will happen realistically. So I would look to ult a minion simply, again, to start getting the stacks. Okay, no, we do get a fight because Renekton looks to... Oh, we will land in the queue. Okay, Renekton throws the wave here himself by not keeping the freeze, but instead slow pushing to his opponent and never crashing the wave. We had a kill window with maybe following with the Q, but we don't look for it. So here we can also just see that the mechanical parts of the game, of course, are always going to be lower, the lower elo you go. And he's looking for a max range Q, finds it, W, ultimate. This guy does not need to ult minions. He will find the kill windows. Amazing. Right now, first thing we do is check the next minion wave. It's far away, so we should hard push. Cho'Gath instantly spots it, and we should be able to look for a plate here as well. With our demolish, instead we recall. Now, I really dislike to see this because we are full HP. We only have 700 gold. We can't really buy anything in the shop besides a Ruby Crystal. Instead, we could have denied the Cho'Gath or the Renekton of a full wave, and we could have gotten an extra wave, 2 plates maybe. We had a very good position. So you could argue that sometimes it would be good to reset in these scenarios to gain tempo. However, in this scenario, we were able to push our elite. We were able to get plates, minions, and we can't really contest this Renekton on the bounce anyways because we do not have ult and Renekton does. So here, it doesn't really make sense to get the tempo. We should use the tempo that we had for extra plates, right? Also, our TP is back very soon, so we shouldn't have a recall here at all. Renekton has bought a recurve bow, and this is a habit that I really like to see. So when Renekton comes back into lane, the Cho'Gath has a really good habit here to press tap. Absolutely amazing, super good habit to have. And again, I mentioned this earlier, pressing tap is one of the most important skills to learn in League of Legends because you can basically see everything from tap, right? We can see that our win condition lies probably in our top side here. Our bot lane is struggling, their bot lane is doing well, that Jax is doing alright, but their solo laners are super weak this game. So that's the information we have. So here on this bounce, we are stronger, and that is because Renekton has bought very suboptimal items. He still has the same AD that he had from the D-Blades, right? So he doesn't really have any AD extra in his items. We're looking for the trade here, which is just super good. We are level up. Renekton scratches us. He does absolutely nothing in terms of damage, and that is because of faulty item purchases. He should just be full rushing the Blade of the Ruined King, and yeah, it said he bought a Tabis against full AP topside. So we're holding the wave here, very strategic freeze. Now my question is here, is the Cho'Gath going to look to farm a main or just keep it for a potential kill again? And it looks like he's keeping his ultimate to look for an aggressive play, doesn't find it, misses the Q, but Renekton decides to go for last. It's in his face. Very interesting decision. A little bit late on the W, shouldn't follow up with the Q. And we're pushing the wave back into the Renekton here. Now Renekton walks up, almost gets predicted, doesn't happen, but still somehow goes for the trade. We get a kill window here. Okay, no, we do not. The last hits look a little bit clunky. So yeah, we're 74 saves at minute 11, although we solo killed our opponent twice, and it is simply because we don't like last hitting. And I'm getting upset. See, I might lose the cannon occasionally. This guy is a professional Cannomian avoider. Last Ignition Foundation, guys, remember that. These are also kill worth of Cannomians. So Robert Carlos is trying to bait the Cho'Gath here to get a gank. We see the Jax in bot side. We see him on the minimap. Katarina's dead. There's nothing that we should be afraid of. We could look for a dive here, but I know around this MMR it's very scary to look for dives, and Renekton instead looks for the aggressive trades and doesn't get it. You see also why the Cho'Gath moves completely forward here, and that's because he's trying to press W and clicking, but also right-clicking at the same time. That's why we should just use Smart Cast. It makes your combos a lot more fluent. The wave is bouncing back into us if we just let it happen. So let's see what young Cho'Gath does here. He's making the wave push back into him, I believe, which is a very smart decision. So right now, even though it doesn't look like it, this wave is actually pushing back to the Cho'Gath pretty fast. And the reason this is because even though there's 3 casters against 3 casters right here, the medium wave of the Renekton is going to arrive faster, and what this leads to is that these casters will die, but these casters will stay alive. And then on the next wave, you have 3 melees and 6 casters against 3 melees and 3 casters, ultimately making the wave push towards the Cho'Gath here, right? So, Robert Carlos doesn't really know how to respond to this, and the wave is being frozen. However, the Cho'Gath just takes the aggro of the minion, so... Oh, Robert Carlos... Wow, now this is something that I have not seen before. This is just absolute mind-blowing strategies here by the Cho'Gath. Puts the ward consciously in the turret range to bait Robert Carlos to walk up, instantly spots the lethal range, gets the Q, W, E, Renekton walks up, is completely mind controlled by this ward, and gets another kill with the ultimate. Absolute wonderful outplay. This is something that I should be utilizing in my gameplay. This is just absolute prestige gameplay right here by the Cho'Gath. Sets it up with the ward, gets the bounce to happen, instant Q forward, W, E, and gets to... Okay, one of the best kills I've seen. One of the most amazing sequence of plays I've seen thus far in this game. He's absolutely ahead of the game. Now, so, you know, realistically here, we see that both the players are dead here. We're level 11. We're probably running Demolish because we're playing Grass Cho'Gath. The left arm is just 16 seconds. We get this wave and we get 2 plates. Instead, again, we devoid using our tempo and we reset for absolutely nothing. We should press our lead. So, again, it is important sometimes, especially in the early game, to utilize your tempo to avoid plates and get your resets in so you don't lose out on the bounce. But here again, we should just push this wave in, get these plates, and we're absolutely happy. And if we're scared of losing the bounce, we always have TP. So here again, we should make our lead even bigger than it is. And we lose another Cannomian. Thus far, I think we've only gotten 1. And I hope to see the Cho'Gath press stab when our opponent walks back into lane. Okay, so we see the pickaxe. In these scenarios, we could look maybe to get a grub, get a scuttle crab. Oh, the grubs are despawning. And Cho'Gath is making a deep move to scout the enemy jungle on the top side. We haven't really had any jungle interaction in top lane. It's just been 1v1 thus far. We've got the Heartsteel. Renekton decides to use the W on a mean and escape from the Cho'Gath. Doesn't really succeed in it and gets chunked to half. Katarina dies again in bot lane for the 5th time, I believe. And here is another mistake, and this is just a very common mistake. Every wave needs a plan, and what you see here is that the Cho'Gath is pushing this wave, but I find this very bad because we kind of freeze the wave in the position of our opponent. And how do I know this? It's because I'm looking at the next wave, and you see here, Cho'Gath is hard pushing this whilst the next wave is approaching, so instead, you should slow push this wave, allow next wave to walk through the lane, and then hard push it. Because if we're laning around here, we're super vulnerable to a Jax gank, and Renekton is not ever... Okay, Jax shows bot, so we're not vulnerable to a Jax gank. Looks like everybody is ganking bot this game in perpetuity, and... maybe we can do the same trick here. Maybe get the ward down and look for the kill. I can see it happen here again, okay? He should hard push this and look for the dive angle. He has the hard steel proc. We are level 11. The rank is level 9. We have all the tools we need to set up a dive, so I like seeing the hard push here. Is yet to use an ultimate stack on the minion, which is very interesting, but he's fine 3 kills, so it doesn't really matter for him. Let's see how he sets this up. I would just start, you know, we're not that scared here. Yeah. I think we can still look for the kill, but see, the thing is, in and around these eel ranges, people are very scared of turrets. People get anxious or kind of panic. You should just track the cooldowns, track your opponent's cooldowns, or anything that no E, just land your QW ult, needs that. But I can see it being very scary for him, so he decides to not do it. Vayne asked to not camp bot anymore, but it is a strategic move because he is 6 kills, so she probably wants more bot ganks. Alright, so we're slow pushing this wave. We're gonna hard push the next wave, by the looks of it. Very good. And we can finally look to proc demolish on the turret. Or not. We're waiting for the Q. Okay, so how does this play into out here? We get the Q, we get the W, E, ult. Absolute amazing play here by the Cho'Gath. And now I hope he really gets his turret because we're 16 minutes in. We finally hit the turret for the first time. Well done. Here we should push out the next wave as well because the next wave would secure our reset. However, I might be scared of a Jax gank here. I'm not scared of the Katarina. If we've been scouting our tab, we know that this Katarina is very weak. She's like 0-5. Jax did the dragon, so what we should do here is just kill the Katarina and hard push next wave. We are not scared of this Katarina. We're 2 levels up. And we forgot to press tab here. And so we are, for some reason, mind controlled by the Katarina here. We don't get the correct reset. But here he gets a second chance. Jax is dead. Katarina doesn't show anymore. We could slow push this wave or hard push this and hard push next wave and set up a reset. We get the cannon minion. It looks like somebody's TPing bot, which is probably right. Okay, it was the Katarina. And he decides not to push out the next wave, which I dislike, because now you kind of freeze the wave here. It's very similar. Playing the mid to late is very similar to laning phase here, where instead of only pushing one wave, you should, you know, slow push the first one or even hard push it, and hard push the second to get it to crash into the tier 2, so the wave bounces back into you and you don't lose out on resources. Now, by leaving the wave here, you are guaranteed to lose this full next wave here, simply because you don't push out the wave, right? So that is a bit unfortunate here, but it's okay. We get the reset. We do have tempo on top side, so multiple decisions here. Renekton shows stop is still void of completing a full item. The Katarina is 0-6 like we've shown. It's only the Jax and the Vayne that are really strong in this game, but we are 4 levels above them each, so we're in a very privileged position here. Renekton pushing out top lane here, having to push out this wave and this wave before he's even close to reaching your turret. We do have the tempo to either look for a mid push here, right? Or potentially even a Herald play. Katarina is dead, so we have massive tempo on the map here. You would even argue that we could TP mid here to get a play, get the mid tier 1. In terms of itemization, we should probably itemize against the Vayne and Jax, so anything armor related is good. I am fine with this. I think Sunfire would do a little bit more, and here you see a very common mistake, and that is, you know, we're 4-0 into the game. We should use our lead on the map, expand it, get more resources, right? But instead, we autopilot back into top lane. Here, killing the 0-4 Renekton will never change this outcome of this game because he's already 3 levels down, he is not even on an item, and he's completely out of the game, right? And we don't really have anything to look to expand our lead here on top lane. Instead, we should just be TPing mid. We have Demolish, we could get the full mid turret, and then maybe the Herald, which, you know, could lead us to getting a tier 2 turret. And we're just in a perfect position like that, but instead, and this is what you see very commonly, we just open up the top lane and hope to probably kill the Renekton again. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Jack shows bot side again, maybe hopes to get his 10th kill there. And I just want to see how the Cho'Gath decides to use his position here. And he hard pushes the wave and looks to play for the river skirmish, which is just, you know, pure lucky that it happens. Renekton flashes away. This is good though, because now we do get to fight the Jax, which is their win condition. Jax walks in for the Ashe, is absolutely Blood Fury, and gets one shot. Very strategic play for the Jax. Renekton comes in after flashing, gets caught by the Q, and gets one shot. So the impressive part about this thing is Cho'Gath opening up topside was apparently a very strategic play. He knew that enemy team would be mind controlled to play for Herald, shut down the Jax win condition, and get another kill. Now, for some reason, this Jax has 5 Cho'Gath stacks, or 5 ultimate stacks, but he has not used a single ultimate on his minion. So he's legit gotten 5 stacks from kills, which is beyond my control. Again, you see a problem that the Cho'Gath does here is he pushes one wave and moves. So this wave is perpetually going to be stuck here, and this is what I refer to as a bleeding side wave. So you see the Cho'Gath has lost this wave here, but he's also going to lose the next wave before this will finally crash into this turret. And now he moves to mid, decides to fix the bleeding side wave. So that is very good to see. He's a little bit late, only gets 3 casts, right? Because he's lost 2 full minion waves whilst doing so, and looks to pressure the tier 2 turret Jack shows bot. Remington will probably open up back into top side. He gets some turret damage done, and this is good. Noon looks to take the Herald, and with this prestige position in the game where we can press tab here, so let's see how we could play the map here, right? So our bot lane is severely malnourished. We are 0-8 on Smolder. I don't even know why people are playing Smolder, but there is that. However, our top side is full successful, right? We have a super fat Nunu, Lux, we are super fat ourselves. Baron is starting in 1 minute. We have a Cho'Gath and a Nunu, and even though our bot lane is pretty weak, we can still do Baron with them. So Baron would be an objective on the map. Each solo lane is completely useless, so we can always look to progress on side lane, get tempo, and look to match that to either shut down the Vayne or get the Jax. If we get the pick, we could look for that. There's not really a soul win condition, so I would recall probably play bot and see if we can get tempo through there. Instead, we get ganked here on the side lane, and we flash away without taking damage really, but Nunu was coming. We should have fought the 2v2. Instead, we flashed away. We get another ultimate stack here. No, Nunu takes it from us, and we end up being topside. Very weird sequence of events, but it happens. Katarina narrowly escapes the Cho'Gath Q. Vayne ganks here. Now, this is an issue because we don't want to give shutdowns to the Vayne, so this is a very good ping away. Ultimately, we need to avoid Vayne ever getting our shutdowns, because if Vayne gets our shutdowns, that's the only way we lose this game. We do get 2 picks here, so we could even argue that we can start the Nashor here, but we end up not doing so, okay? The Cho'Gath is still very strong here. Jack shows himself, so Katarina is probably very confident, even though she's 0-7 dies here, and the only play, this was a very logical play by Katarina because Jax was hovering, right? And so the only play Katarina has left here is to flame his jungler, forbidding him to go in here, and Cho'Gath gets 6 stacks. He's finally on full stacks, but it's not from a single minion, it's all from kills that is just being gifted into him. In the meantime, our team is pushing down mid. We lose another Kenyan minion, as is normal. Ash shows up in the side lane, and I'm completely lost on what's happening. We lose another few minions, because why would we get CS? But now we recall, and my assumption here is that we're going to open up mid or bot lane to play for the dragon. We overstay in mid, that is very unfortunate. Look for Frozen Heart, most broken item in the game, that's good to see. And so what I would want to see is us to push out bot lane and to set up a dragon or a Baron. Or the Baron would be the best to try and, you know, really solidify our position in the game and look to expand it. Unfortunately, our teammates overstayed mid, so the Vayne got some shutdowns on the Nunu and Lux, so now they definitely have a stronger position, and we're just hovering around mid. We're waiting 30 seconds in mid wave to avoid the wave and stand here for... I'm not sure what he's trying to do, maybe trying to steal the dragon. Okay, so now we're gonna have our first fight with our team, and I like this a lot because we are stronger. We're 32-21. If we get some catches, we should be able to get our Nashor. Renekton only has 1 item, he has no flash, I believe, and he uses E, so he should die. I would save my ulti here, very good. And Vayne stops, Senna is here, so they're completely split. Oh, if we get another kill here, the Nash is guaranteed. Okay, this is... Okay, so we get the kill here. Vayne top, Jax is pushing away, has no flash, and he uses Ghost. Baron is free. We have Cho'Gath ult, we have Nunu Q Smite, should be the freest Baron, but instead we go for Dragon, which I dislike to see. And we TP to top. Not a big fan of this. Ultimately, we should have played for Nash, but this is also a very common thing you would see in around these MMRs, is that people don't really know how to play for Nash, and people are very scared of the Baron on the map. Probably due to past experiences, something happening with a Baron being stolen, and I'm losing the game. Yeah, so we are strong, right? We're 7-0, but like one more of these, and I'm going to lose my mind. Like, why, what? I think we farmed 2 cannons out of 10 or something. Like, this guy is just like, this is a professional. Absolute sublime form by him. There's a fight happening on mid for no apparent reason. Nunu is pushing out side lane, and Lux decided to walk up mid. 2 people die, so now I'm scared of enemy team doing Nashor, especially with Nunu showing on the bot lane side lane and Cho'Gath showing top. So enemy team should just push Nashor here, but instead they stay mid and they look to push up mid. And again, this ties in with what we were saying earlier. Both teams are absolutely scared of each other. 2 picks is a guaranteed Nashor, but they are scared of their own conscience and they are scared of their own misplays. So people are not really able to do Nashor in this elo. They overstay again, they randomly die, and now we get some kills. So now we get 2 picks. So The logical solution here is to play for Nashor, right? I'd hope so. So now we push up mid. it's just a juggling session. So first things first is we overstay mid and we die. Then enemy team overstays and we kill them. And again, by the way, this is the second time. And then we push mid. So now the only logical play that should happen is that we overstay and enemy team gets a push again. Oh no, it's actually happening. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, do they end? No, they don't end. The video is still long. Uh-oh. Like, I don't know how it's even possible to be this fat at this elo. Vayne pointing at himself. Alright, so we ended up not doing Nash, but the overstay actually didn't happen. None of us died. Or maybe I was... Oh, Lux died. But we do get a tier 2 turret on top. Ashe died now too. It is too chaotic for me and too weird to see what's really going on. So we are deciding to make an aggressive posture here. Smolder is face tanking the turret. Very, very interesting play by the Smolder there. I can definitely see some people being upset at their teammates. So the mid inhib has gone down. For some reason, the Baron is still absolutely untouched for the past 5 minutes. When I've seen about 4 different scenarios where either team could take in a Nashor. But that is okay. Now we have mid lane pressure. It's in their base. So the most logical play now... Really now, like, there won't be a better time to finally start setting up the Baron to, again, solidify the play that we have on the map. Now, when pressing tab here, we see that our Smolder has upgraded to 0-11, has stopped farming altogether. The win conditions in the game are still the same. It is our top side, and Ashe is actually doing very well for herself as well. And their solo lanes are completely futile. The Vayne and the Jax are the win condition, but we're still ahead in levels. We're still super far ahead. Vayne is going for a 4th item, which seems to be Blade of the Root King. Now, that could be scary for us, because 3 Blade of the Root Kings is a lot of percentage health damage, so that's one thing we have to be wary of. I just hope that we look for the catch now. So we gotta catch mid. Ashe is split push. So here is a very strategic play as well that we're seeing coming into fruition, right? The red side support in Senna is pushing out the top side lane, and the Ashe is pushing out the bot side wave. Now, you might be wondering, shouldn't supports be looking to set up the vision to control the map? Whilst you could be right, they are also making sure that the side waves are being pushed in on either side, so they put pressure on the map for both sides, and very smart by both supports here. Very, very, very smart here. So Senna, after pushing out the side wave, decides to walk on vision into river, into waiting hands of Nunu, some missing pings, whilst Senna is trying to sandwich herself. Ashe gets caught, finally, by the assassinating Katarina on the enemy team. No surprises there, both supports have died after pushing out the side waves. Very interesting scenarios, and we are, again, not considering Baron at all. We're pushing out the side wave, and we're getting pings for Dragon. So it looks like we're going to be playing for Dragon. And now I hope that this Baron... Oh, what happens here? By the way, has this Cho'Gath used a single ultimate for any stacks on minions or camps? I think he's genuinely gotten 9 stacks of kills. Where is his 8th stack? I just need to verify this. Oh, okay, so he does know you can use it on minions. He used it once here, very strategic. Where is his 7th stack? Oh, he used it on Dragon. So, thus far, he's only used 1 ultimate stack on a minion, and he is already 8 stacks after the skill on Rankton with kills or dragons. That is impressive in itself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's working. He could be on 14 stacks instead, but it has... I see what he's doing. He is consciously avoiding ulting minions and jungle camps because it would increase his max health, and he's playing against 3 Blade of the Root King abusers, so he knows that increasing his own health would only shoot himself in the foot, and that is why he's only preserving his ultimate for champions. Absolute galaxy brain here by this Cho'Gath. It looks like we are finally starting off the Baron. I don't know what happened here. I don't know what conditions were met to do this. So we got the Dragon, so the Dragon's out of the way. Mid wave is pushed in, side wave is pushed in, like it's been for the past, give or take 6 minutes. And Nunu makes the brilliant call to start off the Baron here, without a single catch. I'm very surprised to see this come to fruition, but I'm very happy it's happening. We should be zoning the Jax. There's a lot of chaos going on. Vayne has died. I don't know how. Where did the Vayne die? Oh, Vayne got one shot by the Lux. Hiding in the bush there in enemy territory. Very smart play. Good sacrifice. And ends up getting... Or it's cost his life, but it's a very smart decision here. Katarina is in the pit, completely invisible. Dies to a Nunu ult. Renegade comes in, doesn't even ult, gets one shot as well, and Jax decides to not even give it a try and just leave. A very smart Baron call, it finally came to fruition, and we get our 10th stack. We do use it on the Baron, but we don't want to use it on minions because that is a waste. We will get too much HP, and we go for our Sunfire now. And so in this position in the game, 8 and 0, 3 items strong, we have full Baron, we control the map, midwave inhib is already down. We're going to bot lane here, which makes a lot of sense. There's a tier 2 turret there, and once we've reached that, on this, Nuno is calling for a split push, which I find very interesting, and he's making very sure everybody reads it. I don't see anybody in this team that can realistically split push. The most common idea you would see here is to group 5 bot and siege with Ashe range, Smolder range, Lux range, Shogat Qs, and so that we can just siege and probably end the game. But Nuno has decided to go for a strategic split push decision here and runs it down into enemy team and gets condemned by the Vayne, what it looks like, and narrowly escapes. We call out for mid. Vayne ends up being caught, so I'd assume we end on this push. But there's a skirmish going on. Okay, so our bot lane dies, but we traded for Vayne and their solo lane. Cho'Gath does find a very strategic move here, because whilst this entire skirmish is going on, he's playing here with 6k HP. He has demolished that with one-shot a turret, so we see 3 people dead, 2 people on the map. This is absolutely amazing. So we should keep pushing. We should keep pushing. We should most definitely keep pushing. Yeah, this is a head scratcher. He could have gotten a Nexus turret, potentially both, and threatened to end. But instead he max ranges, min-maxes the cannon minions with the Baron buff. Ults the cannon minions, so now he's decided to use his ult for minions, and he's pushed at the side wave. I'm at a loss for words, because I simply can't find the strategic goal behind this decision. But he did get an extra cannon minion. He did get an additional ultimate stack. Yeah, we don't like pushing our lead. And so for the past 10 minutes, we haven't really done anything but alter, you know, the random menu that we've gotten. And we push at the side wave here whilst the respawns are happening. So I sincerely hope we don't overstay here. And he decides to recall. Decides to stay in range to min-max the cannon minions. Vayne could be flanking. I think he's aware of the Vayne potential flank. I think this Shogun is hidden in plain sight because Baron minions could only be Baron's minions with somebody being in the vicinity, but I don't think Katarina has noticed that these minions are taking less damage and they are glowing. Oh, narrowly escaped the Cho'Gath Q. The Baron buff seems to be worn off, and we're still looking inside lane. In the meantime, Smolder has died again in bot lane, so it's an obvious bot gap here. Lux ends up being caught, sieging in bot lane. The split pushing Cho'Gath is finally ult. So I guess he has decided to opt to ult the cannon minions at level 16 to get some additional stacks for the purpose of, I don't know exactly what, and we end up recalling here, and it looks like we're prepping a dragon fight, and so that would give us the soul. The Jax has died, Ashe has died, which means we do end up getting the soul here, and now again you would argue that we could siege together to end the game. We could also wait for the next Baron that should spawn realistically soon, but we get a skirmish here. And the Vayne has gotten the Blade of the King, but with all our old stacks, we seem to be pretty hefty nonetheless, with all the armor we have as well. Tries to break the Vayne, ends up just missing. Nuno ends up being caught, but has the ultimate. One-shots the Senna. Beautiful predict on the Vayne, and this should mean the end of the game now, finally. Lux get caught mid, and they're stopping the wave, so we don't have the wave to end. It sucks that we didn't take down the Nexus turret earlier for some unknown reason, and the Reddington, the Robert Carlos, even though it's 1 in 12 and still sitting on 1 item, has found a game-saving play here. We're pushing the wave. Baron is coming up soon, so a very common mistake you would see around this MMR is that people would overstay. But this Cho'Gath has seen a very common trend of being very safe, so he's picking away his team, which is a very good ping. Smolder, on the other hand, has a death wish the entire game, walks into enemy base, figures out that's not what he wants to be, and ends up dying for no apparent reason. Yeah, the game is still very similar. The top side is very fat. Nuno's full build, Lux is close. Katarina has cut back in the game. Cho'Gath is, or the Relic is still absolutely out of the game. Vayne is about to be full build. Jax has 4 items, so yeah, we're in a very interesting spot in the game now where next Baron is probably all decisive. And so we should definitely preserve our ultimate, very good. An enemy team has decided to start the Nashri here with the death timer of Smolder, but we do have the Cho'Gath ult. They have gotten the Baron. I mean, yeah, they've skilled 2 items, so they're very strong now. Senna decides to face check into the Nunu. Very interesting plays here. We mismatch the timer here, but we get the silence off. We got two catches, 2 Baron buffs ends up being on. Yeah, I mean, right now we can't really progress in the game, but we should wait and group as 5 with the Smolder. Hopefully it doesn't get caught before the team respawns. Decides to invade enemy Joe and dies again. So now at this point, this guy clearly doesn't win the game. Nunu's asking for split push. I get really weak when the game continues longer, which is a good call. They are definitely getting outskilled by the Vayne and the Jax with more items, and they have Baron now too, so we should wait to finally group as 5 to join a team fight, but we look for the aggressive play here. We land the Q, and we decide that 3 Blade Runner Kings do one-shot us. Nunu ends up rolling down the mid lane, dies as well to kill the 1 and 12 Renekton. And now enemy team do have a good siege opportunity with the death timers being in play, but the Lux has wave clear. Oh, wait. This could be the end. This could be the end. It has the end. So Nunu ends up calling everybody the noobs, choke it with the conventional GG, and that has been a very interesting display of the Iron game. We see what happens. We can really see what goes down here. Smolder, I think, has never really wanted to win this game, but we could have absolutely closed this game out way earlier without Smolder being even in the game. So many things that come to fruition here. Ultimately, the Cho'Gath had a lot of opportunities to push the turret faster when we were in lane. Then once we got ahead from laning phase, we should have spread our lead across the map, like going mid, getting Herald, playing for the turrets, and establishing a lead on the map instead of only opening up the top side. Once the 20 minutes rolled around and we got catches on the map, which happened a lot of times, we should have solidified our position by getting the Baron, because getting the Baron makes so we have empowered beam waves for 3 minutes and we can look to open up their base, and we had that opportunity. We skipped a skirmish and we could have completely destroyed their Nexus turrets. Instead, we never really pushed our leads, and even though we were 11-0 for most part of the game, we never died. This is sadly a player that knows or got ahead but doesn't know how to play at the lead. And in my opinion, there's 2 players in League of Legends, or 2 different kinds of players in most scenarios. You have the aggressive, undisciplined player, and you kind of have the passive, scared player. And these are kind of the balances that you usually see. And so what our Cho'Gath needs to learn is, once he has a lead, he needs to learn to expand it on the map, getting natural resources, turrets. Even though you are a tank like Cho'Gath, we had so many opportunities to expand our lead, solidify our position on the map. Once you get a pick, get the Baron, and close out the game. We are unsuccessful in doing so. The Jax got items, the Vayne got items, we got once, we instantly lost the game. Now, yes, our Smolder was absolutely running it down, that is unlucky, but showing you throughout this game that we have multiple opportunities to just close out this game, even with the Smolder running it down, because we had some very good topside teammates, and yeah, very unfortunate ending. I hope we all learn plenty of this on how to manage waves, how to manage our wave states, when to select freezes and when you should be pushing them out, how to utilize your TP, and ultimately how to close out your game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content. Leave your comments down below if you enjoyed it. Give me some suggestions, what you would like to see next. And I hope all of you that you have an amazing remainder of your day. Thank you for coming by. See you guys in the next one.